The veterans need quick response. And this is the way that we need to be able to make sure that veterans are not standing in line.
Planes and tanks and guns are a cost of war. So is taking care of the men and women who use those weapons and who fight our battles.
Something we don't often say here, bipartisan compromise on a Veterans Affairs reform package, $17 billion total, $10 billion for non-VA care. In other words, veterans living more than 40 miles from a VA facility. They've been waiting at least a month. They have a chance to go to outside treatment. You have $5 billion for additional staff to try to reduce the patient backlog, $2 billion for what's called miscellaneous, and then $5 billion of this would be so-called paid for with offsets, and the other $12 billion new spending. What about this? Is it a solution? We're back with the panel. Kirsten.
Well, it's obviously a positive step when both sides of Congress can come together and do something, and I think this is for a good, good cause. I do have to question whether this is enough money. It's hard to believe that we've talked so much about all the problems that face the VA, and that they seem to be so endemic, and it seems like a somewhat small amount of money, I think, to tackle such a big problem.
The overall budget for the VA is massive, and the Obama administration has increased that budget, and yet these problems expanded. So some people would argue, Ron, that money is not the issue here.
Actually, this is a case where I would actually take that argument up. I do agree it's a good thing. These jokers finally got something done. You pat them on the back and send them home for recess. But this is a huge systematic problem, and I was looking for and still looking for big reforms. I mean, this is not going to be able to be handled with a few $1 billion, and let's have a little bit of freedom in spending. We have to look at things like, and I don't know if this is something I would support down the road, but we at least have to look at things like full vouchers. I mean, do we really need to have all these hospitals and pigeonholing all these guys to these hospitals? Should we make it easier for them to take their money where they need to go? Look at stuff that big and that dramatic, and not just nibbling around the edges here.
There are some things in here, Charles, that the success is measured by the quality of the care and not that you're on a line, that senior officials can be fired by the secretary. Those are steps in policy that are changes.
No, I think it's a very good stopgap, and you have to do something now. Although I have to say, I love the bill where $2 billion is for miscellaneous.
Yeah,
I wish I had a budget like that. Miscellaneous, $2 billion. The $10 billion for the voucher, which is what's called the Veterans Choice Card, where you go to any hospital, you get care, is a brilliant idea. I think the pouring of the $5 billion into more doctors and more nurses for a system that is unbelievably inefficient and corrupt is not a good idea. But I pay the price in order to get the bill through. But I really think the one thing you need here, and I hate to say you want to study, but they really, and I'm with Ron on this, so you really have to have the idea that we are going to abolish the system. You take all the hospitals, you turn them, I mean, you're not going to tear them down. You turn them into regular hospitals, open to everybody, you voucherize the system, and you see whether you can't get the kind of efficiency that you get in normal hospitals, because also it's obsolete. You really want veterans have to drive halfway across the state to get to someplace, particularly in the West, when you can have them use local facilities. So that, I think, ought to be the ultimate objective.
And real quickly, what is it about our system of government when we have to pass a bill so you can fire people who aren't doing their jobs right?
Yeah.
And it's not just at the VA. This is a problem throughout the civil service.
And the State Department, many places have said they had issues with various things and they couldn't fire people.
Very strong union guy, but we got to be be able to fire people.
All right, quickly,
that $2 billion for this
that's miscellaneous.
Is for firing.
Quickly, are they on a roll? Are they going to get this immigration stuff done before the end of the week?
I don't know. I mean, maybe the Republicans might be able to pass something in the House, but it's not going to make it through the Senate.
If the president opposes the change in the 2008 law, nothing will happen.
I agree. And the president's flip-flopped on this, and I think it's going to kill it.
That is it for the panel. We thought we were going to end on a high note, but